Hey everybody, this is Scott from OutdoorCookingMagic.com. Desserts are wonderful in the Dutch oven, and today we are going to cook a delicious Dutch oven cherry cobbler. Let's get started.
To make this dish, there are two parts. The first is the cherry filling that goes on the bottom of the Dutch oven, and the second is the crust. We're going to start with the crust. To make the crust, I'm going to mix together some rolled oats, some flour, and some sugar. Mix these together really well. And you're going to see that I started with too small a bowl, and I kept having the crust ingredients lop over the top. But oh well, it is what it is. My only hint, use a bigger bowl. Once it's all mixed together well, we're going to add a little bit of vanilla just to give some additional flavoring to the crust. You can find the recipe for this on OutdoorCookingMagic.com. After you do the vanilla, then we're going to cut in a cup of butter. I'm going to take this butter, I'm going to slice the cubes up into some smaller pieces, and then I'm going to use a pastry blender to work them into the flour mixture. Now when you work the butter into the crust, it's not super important that you get it really fine like you might do for biscuits or something else. It's okay if you leave it a little bit coarse. So take your time and do your best to work the butter in, and like I said, use a bigger bowl. After you're all done mixing the butter in, take some chopped pecans and add it to this flour mixture. And once you've added those, then mix those all up, and your crust will be just about done. Now it's time to get your Dutch oven ready to put the cherry filling and the crust in it. It's good for this dish if you line it with something to make your cleanup easier. You can use tin foil. In this case, I used an aluminum Dutch oven liner. Once you have that in there, take your 2 cans of cherry pie filling and add them to the bottom. Now the recipe called for 2 30-ounce cans, and I didn't realize it, but I bought 2 21-ounce cans. And so the crust that I made was probably a little bit much for what we're cooking. If I had to do it again and I was using the 2 21-ounce cans, I would cut that crust down by 1/3. Makes it a little bit easier to get it done. Once you have the cherries all in, take your crust and spoon it over the top. You'll notice that the crust doesn't have any liquid in it, and what's going to happen is that some of the liquid from the cherry filling will bubble up through. But because of the butter, it'll all set up fairly well. Once that's all done, you're ready to get the lid on top of this and get this dessert cooking. For this dessert, I used about 26 coals, and I put a few more on top than I had on bottom. I think I've got 14 or 15 on top there. Probably could have had a couple more. So after a bit, maybe a half hour, I'm going to open up the lid and we're going to check this. And look, we've got the cherry filling bubbling up through the crust, which is exactly what you want. After an hour or so, I check it and it is ready to come off. I put some on a plate to show you what it looks like, and I'll tell you what, it looks and smells delicious. We're going to put a little bit of whipping cream on, and now we are ready to taste it.
Okay, so I've done the cherries on the bottom, I put the crust on top, cooked it in the Dutch oven, put some whipping cream on, and now it's time to see how it tastes. like always, Dutch oven desserts turn out fabulous. The crust is wonderful. And with the whipped cream and the cherries, this makes a great dessert. And because the cherries have enough liquid in them, there's not a lot of prep or a lot of care that you have to do. Just make sure you rotate that Dutch oven occasionally so that they don't get burnt, but nothing was burnt here. That crust is So if you're looking for an easy Dutch oven dessert to do that will just wow your guests, try this Dutch oven cherry cobbler. It is delicious and they will absolutely love it. This is Scott from OutdoorCookingMagic.com. Please join me for a lot of other outdoor cooking magic tricks and recipes. And remember, it always tastes better when it's cooked outdoors.